Let's talk about how we met.
I swipe right on your face.
I swipe right too, guys.
It's Tinder for businesses or for creatives. You like swipe right on the people that you want to connect with. So magicians have an inside joke that like if you ask someone to explain a magic trick that they've seen, they always do a really bad job at it. And learning magic for me was the same. It goes back to the same reason like why I want to tell stories that matter is like we talked about the feeling when you first watched Interstellar. Like that's a cool it's a cool feeling that you have that to remember. For me back then it was like the first feeling when you saw a magic trick and it's like, whoa, you mean like being talented actually is it's not like top priority for people, for producers and directors. So if you're good at communicating, if you can communicate confidence that you're gonna do the job, that's the person who's gonna get the job. I've always likened success to winning the lottery. You got to put in the work. You got to meet people who eventually you're going to meet one person who's going to like change everything. A visual effects artist, if he's good at his job, nobody will know. And sometimes the relationship with the client, like if they're good clients and they will bring you consistent work and they're not a headache to work with, sometimes that relationship is worth more than those 2 hours.
Okay, welcome back, guys. This is Hit Record, and we're going to be doing a creative spotlight with the one and only Danny Joseph. Say hi to the camera.
Hi, that's me.
My name is Keno Manuel, and this is, I guess, the show. Welcome back to another episode. We're just going to be diving right into the visual effects side of film, and we're going to talk about the difficulties of navigating that career in visual effects. I'm stuttering right now because I'm trying to remember the words, but that's okay. We're just rolling through with this. But we're going to be learning about how you guys can develop your skills as a visual effects artist and maybe learn a lot of things from his career and also what he went through. Struggles, challenges, milestones, all of that good stuff. Now, before we get into this, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. If you're listening on this podcast, I think there's a follow button. I don't really.
All the buttons, hit them all.
What?
I said all the buttons, hit them all.
Yes. Anyways, if you like the content, you can always follow for more. And because guys, I'm trying to build a community here in this tiny dead town. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah, it's difficult. It's a hard place to like create opportunities because they just don't come along, and you have to really build it.
It's just like sometimes I want to move, but at the same time, it just really is dependent on the people's or the person's situation. But
yeah,
we're not gonna talk about a sob story. It's okay, guys.
It's not impossible. It's just really, really, really hard.
What?
I said it's not impossible. It's just really, really, really hard.
Thanks, United States. Okay, Daniel. Or do you prefer Danny or I don't know if is Danny a nickname?
Yeah, usually people say Danny. I only get Daniel if the person's mad at me.
Daniel.
Yeah, see, like that's intimidating.
Daniel. Our Daniel. Danny boy.
That's me.
Yes. Tell us who you are and your mission as a creative and what you do.
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm a visual effects artist / post-production supervisor of sorts. Repeat the question.
All right, repeating the question. Daniel, tell us who you are, your mission in life as a creative, and what you do.
Okay. My mission in life as a creative is to just tell stories that matter. I want to tell stories that make me feel like the first time I watched Interstellar.
Oh.
Right?
Good choice. My God. That is such a good choice.
Like, after watching that movie, I was so upset that I'll never watch it for the first time ever again. And it's like, that's that feeling. I want to capture it. I want to bottle it up, and I want to create it. And
wait, those aren't mountains. Those are waves. I love that. Dude, when you watch that scene, how was that like for you? Like, when that's set in?
I remember thinking, like, are those mountains? Because it's really flat.
Right. It's like, so far in the distance.
And they say, oh, there's mountains in the distance. And you think, all right, sure, they're mountains. And it's just like sits in your head for a minute. And then they're like, Those are mountains.
But you know what other thing that I ever talked about that? You know how there's like so shallow in the surface. Okay, like in the ocean, you would have to be so far in the ocean to even touch the ground level. So
Yeah.
if you think about that movie, like that's a lot
Yeah,
of water.
that probably should have been pretty telling that something was coming.
Those aren't mountains. Wait, what's her name? Cooper?
Cooper
get back to
was
the ship.
Yeah, Cooper was McConaughey's character, I think.
But anyway, so you're a visual effects artist. Is that all you aspire to be, or is there something more to that path?
My dream job is to become a visual effects supervisor
Okay.
or a post-production supervisor, or I love like managing teams, being
Okay.
a person of contact for like directors and producers to talk about their vision, and I love being the person who can do all the headache part
Okay.
to make it happen.
What's the most difficult part about that job, though? Because I would imagine, for example, there's a lot of communication that needs to be maintained between all departments, especially when it comes to a film that has to be edited heavily in post-production. When you think about visual effects, it's like, how do you manage to maintain all of the things that are required as far as project management, time management, and also maintaining the creativity that you want to express, but also maintain the project's creativity through the other people that are hiring you
Yeah.
to do that project.
So
I know that's a loaded question, guys. I'm so sorry.
So
But-
magicians have an inside joke that
Oh?
like if you ask someone to explain a magic trick that they've seen, they always do a really bad job at it. Because it's hard to explain something that's impossible that they just watched, right?
Hey man, mano we mano. We're in the same ministry. I think I'll get for you guys. You'll catch up. I'm not trying to be kind of condescending here, but I promise this is why we're making this so you can learn what he's talking about, the lingo. Let's
Well,
go.
so clients are the same way. When they explain what they want,
Okay.
it's very difficult to like understand it. Like they're almost talking a different language. I always say one of my superpowers is being able to speak client.
Okay.
Because if they're like, usually you just get a shot and they're like, spice it up. And, like that could mean a number of different things, and then you just kind of have to like draw it out of them, or if the lookbook is good enough, or their pitch is good enough, then maybe you can look at it and think like, oh, this is exactly what it needs. Or maybe it warrants the coffee meeting and being like, what do you mean spice it up? Like, but yeah, that's probably like the most difficult part.
Okay.
And then after that, it's like you have to communicate that idea to your artists, and that's.
But what about those clients that think they know better than you? They say, no, I know you're good at what you do, but I think if you do this, they like to micromanage.
Yeah.
How does that even work, dude? That's like
That's why
hell.
we charge for revisions after V3.
Remember, guys, in the past a couple other episodes, revisions is needed in your contract.
Absolutely.
Why is it so important, Danny?
Because
Why is it so important? I don't
Because
think people understand the gravity or the significance of having a revision clause. Please tell them.
clients, some of them, not even most of them, but sometimes you get the ones that are like, I know exactly what I need, I know exactly what I want, and it's like it's just not a good idea. And you can try to explain that to them all you want. You can be like, I don't think this is gonna work because X, Y, or Z, and they're like, we are used to killing our babies.
What the? What?
You've never heard that?
I've never heard of that.
Oh, really? So, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Another
YouTube,
conversation.
this is PG-13. We're not actively trying to kill babies here.
So,
I hope it's theoretically, metaphorically
Yes.
speaking, but what is that term?
killing your babies or killing your darlings is like, it's usually used, I guess, in post-production or in editing where, like, if there's like a really cool shot and you love it and everyone is going to blow everyone's mind,
Yeah.
or maybe a concept in the film or a whole scene or a performance that's really, really good,
Yeah.
but it doesn't fit with the rest of the movie, you got to kill it.
Oh, so it goes to the cutting floor, basically.
Yes. And it's heartbreaking, but it's for the better of the movie.
You know what? I understand now. Parents lose children, and I'm sure that pain is immeasurable. I can understand where you're coming from now.
Careful.
But see, I actually never heard of that because I've always heard of 86 this, 86 that, but not killing.
Yeah, that's like some of
Where did you
the.
hear that?
I can't even remember, but that's some of like the first advice that you hear as an editor.
You didn't give a double take to what they said? You didn't just like,
Well, I think it was in like I think it might have been in a video about like advice to editors, and they were like,
please tell me your
gotta get used to killing your babies. And I was
what's
like,
your
okay,
search
that kind of.
history? Killing the babies?
I wonder if you Google that. I wonder if
Okay, we're doing
if
that now.
film will come up.
Wait, killing the babies?
Kill your babies.
Oh, okay. All right. FBI.
Whoa, really?
No.
Oh.
No. Eliminating part of... Okay. Wow. Okay, so I did not know that. Wow, I learned a lot today. All right,
So
guys,
you-
that's
I
it for
mean-
this episode. That was the purpose.
You probably do it anyway, like in your own productions. You just don't know it by that term.
Yeah, I've never met anyone or have come across a project where that term was specifically used.
Gotcha.
This is gonna be so
So-
fun to say.
So like
Thank
as
you.
yeah, of course. So like as creatives, we're kind of used to like doing what we need to for the better of the project of the final piece, and
Then
clients don't usually get that because they will like marry it, and then even if it's a bad idea, you still have to
yeah.
if they're like insistent on it, you gotta do it. Then again with the expectation that if this goes beyond a version 3, we're gonna charge you for it.
I would imagine there has been some occasions where you fought for a specific shot where you know that it will benefit the project as a whole. Have you ever
There's
encountered
been
that?
cases where I fought to actually kill a certain baby. There was there was one shot where actually it was the Russell Westbrook project. I don't know if you've seen that.
Wait, which one?
The Russell Westbrook project for Honor the Gift
Yes.
with all the mirror stuff.
Yeah, that's actually in this time.
Okay, cool.
I can't wait to talk about that, but go ahead.
So there was a shot that was supposed to be in there, it was in the script, where the kid is like filling up like a water bowl for his dog or something, and it's just like this steel bowl.
Okay.
And he looks into the bowl and sees Russell Westbrook's reflection looking back at him.
Okay. All right.
Cool concept. I love that it wasn't all originally it wasn't all mirrors, and it was other things that were reflective, like the bowl. But it looked weird.
Why?
Because it was like Russell Westbrook, this big star, everybody knows
Yeah.
who he is, and then like you put his head in a water bowl, and
water?
it's all
Okay.
distorted, and even it was like at the edge of the bowl too, so it was like distorted and kind of squished on one side, and I was like, we can't.
You just have to kill that baby.
It's not, yeah, it's not really showing our talent in the best light.
How did you feel when that didn't? You like?
So I, not to toot my own horn, but I kind of called it before I even worked on that shot. I've moved that to like priority 0 because I was like,
It just
I was like, hey, listen, I don't think this is gonna look good. I'm gonna work on these other shots first.
Yeah.
And then, actually, I was lucky enough to be, how do I put this? It was our post house that was doing like the editing and the visual effects, and so my editor was right behind me. And so I was able to like chat with him about it. And
Okay.
when we watched the footage back, we both kind of had the same idea that like, oh, that shot's gonna go. And at the time, the director just hadn't seen it, and he didn't look at the cut. So like we communicated that to him. We were like, hey, we're gonna work on the better shots.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this one's gonna work. And then it wasn't until afterward he was like, oh, let's see it anyway. So I made like a rough version of it, because again, I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time doing something that I thought wasn't great or was gonna hit the cutting room floor anyway. So I made a version and we sent it to him, and then he was like, yeah, you were right.
Looking back on that specific shot now, do you think were there any ideas that you can come up with now that would have made it more possible?
I don't know, because I read the script and I thought it was cool. Like, I loved the idea. I think it was just one of those things that on paper is great, and then in practice, not so much.
I'm just trying to envision that scene. Is it the inconsistency that you would have with the water and the actor, the lighting?
It was like, I mean, imagine your run-of-the-mill dollar store silver or steel, like, dog food dish.
Okay.
And now put, I don't know, Taylor Swift's face in it. Like, like it doesn't work. And it's like all scratched up too and distorted. It's just not the best light, I think, for the talent.
Definitely 86 that,
Yeah.
or definitely kill that baby.
I think looking back,
Mm-hmm.
if I like the lesson I would say I learned from it is because I still love the idea of having other reflective materials that aren't mirrors doing the same effect. I probably wouldn't have made that like a close-up shot of the bowl. I maybe would have picked maybe not even a bowl, maybe a window or
Okay.
something, and not have it be the whole focal point of the shot. Maybe a bit of a wider shot where it's kind of, if someone sees it, they'll notice,
Mhm.
but it's not like in your face, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So like maybe he's walking through the house and then like a window, like, so like the kid is walking through the house and maybe in a window.
Is this
his
after
Russell's
they threw,
reflection
or
something.
is this before the kid threw the cap? Or
Yeah, I think that shot comes in at the end.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I probably would have done something like a little more subtle because this was very like in your face. Like,
Okay.
oh, look at Russell's face in this dog food dish.
Yeah.
But maybe something that was like, oh, also it's there. Maybe
Okay.
I think that would have been.
Do
If that
you-
makes sense, I think that.
No,
would,
it definitely makes sense. Do you imagine you would like to try that specific shot again on a different project? Now that you know you've gone through the setup just to see how it turned out, do you imagine yourself doing the same exact thing but for a different project?
I can see myself like drawing on that experience
Mm-hmm.
to be able to like more confidently talk to a director about like why this shot isn't gonna work.
Was he insistent on the shot too?
He wasn't rude about it, but yeah, he was like, I really want to see this like happen.
Oh, okay. I've had some projects where it's hard to say no when you know, like, even before things are set up, you just know that it's not going to be possible based on, at that given situation at the time. It's hard to say no, especially when it's someone that's paying you to do the job.
Yeah. Looking back now, yeah, I probably would have said things differently. But also, it was my first project in LA when I moved there.
Okay.
So I was just happy to be doing it.
Hey, that's the best mindset you could ever have on a project, guys. Tell the audience, what mindset do you need to have when it comes to working on a stressful project like that?
I have conflicting feelings about this.
Okay.
Because yes, I was very happy to be doing it. I was happy to be there. I was happy to get paid
Yeah.
doing what I love. But I think a lot of producers and directors will also take advantage of that. I think a lot of people will say like, you should be happy to have this job. You should be happy to be here. You should be happy to do this for beans. And then they can kind of like I said, yeah, take advantage of you. So there's a balance.
That is actually the dark side of film and any creative. Is like, that's would you I feel like that's classified as toxic positivity, but I don't think that. I don't know.
It's toxic, yeah.
No shit, no shit, dude. I don't know. It's hard to, because every one of us wants to be recognized, validated, and just feel useful for once for what we do. And sometimes when we don't hear that often enough, and someone says all of those things to you, it's one of those things. One of those things that for you guys, when you start in this creative journey, is that you need to be careful. Make sure you keep your heart guarded, because there are a lot of snakes outside in this world. You've seen that movie Snakes on the Plane. Well, guess what? It's also on Earth too. They come into.
We're all on that plane.
How would you combat that though?
Yeah. So one of the biggest pieces of advice that I was given actually this year was try to make your clients feel like you're always doing them a favor.
Really?
Even if the budget and the rate is great and the project is good and you love it and you believe in it, still try to make it seem like they're doing you a favor, because whether they intend to or not, there's always that chance that they could be like that they try to take advantage of you. But if you make it seem like you're going the extra mile, or do go the extra mile, if you make it seem like, normally I won't work on weekends, but for you, yeah, I'll put in 2 hours on this shot or whatever.
Yeah.
Then there's like less of that chance of them to be like, oh, you should be happy that you're doing this for me.
I don't know. Like,
I mean, That's
no,
that's what I've been trying, but
no. I agree with everything what you said, but also it's like also leaving another. It also makes room for more. Okay, I got them to do that. Maybe what if I keep asking more and more and more and more and more?
No, that's true. And the solution for that is to say you do work on the weekend. Say over the weekend you put in 2 hours extra on another shot, and that would go in the invoice, and then with a little red line through it, and they would show how much that would actually cost. So that way, again, showing you that like, hey, I did this favor for you.
Okay.
And next time that's not gonna be crossed out.
Okay. So basically, all right. Hey, I would love to do this for you. I'll go the extra mile, but here's the cost.
Yeah.
So protecting yourself by, I guess, adding that price tag to your time, because time is money.
Sometimes the relationship with the client, like if they're good clients and they will bring you consistent work and they're not a headache to work with, sometimes that relationship is worth more than those 2 hours on the weekend, you know. So sometimes you know, you just...
Have you ever had any client relationships where you had to burn a bridge for your own good?
There's been a couple.
We will not disclose any information. We will refer to them as client A, B, C, all the alphabets.
They're very few and far between.
Okay.
But usually it has to do with clients like just expecting a ton of revisions. And that's when I learned my lesson to like put that in the contract. There was one client that I went all the way to like a version 35 for them. And that was when I was still kind of like first getting started in this. It was an editing job. It was like shot on an iPhone, and the budget was like $150 or something. And I was like, yeah, I'll just crank it out real quick. And there was no contract involved because it was so small. And then it just kept like, she kept adding more and more and more and more. And she's eventually started to work backwards, which was not fun. For me, when a project starts to work backwards, today, I'm out. I will fire you as a client if you give me a revision that's like directly contradictory to another revision that you gave me. Especially if we're like, 35 versions in.
35?
That was a lot. Yeah.
No. You're
I've never seen that.
I've never heard of that.
Ever.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was crazy.
When your revisions clause, do you have a specific format? Like, do you stop at a certain number? And for the audience that are looking to learn how to add that onto the contract, how much money do you think they should attach to each revision based on their skill, talent, and so forth?
So a typical contract is the final delivery plus 2 revisions. So you get a V1, V2, V3.
Yeah.
And then after that, you typically will charge money for it. If it's something small, like, oh, can we zoom in on this one shot like 10%?
Oh my God.
Yeah, sure, I'll do it for you,
Yeah.
But as far as like how much to charge, that's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
I know people that will charge like a half-day rate per revision, and that's like the only time they use half-day rates, because a lot of people I know don't even do half-days anymore.
Okay.
But like if it's a revision, or especially if it's a simple one, they'll charge a half-day, or they switch to hourly.
Hourly or project-based?
They'll do project-based for the proposal for the whole project, and then after version 3, they'll switch to hourly for revisions.
Well, you guys, you know what? You heard it here from him report from Danny Joseph about editing revision clause. Guys, again, protect your ass, bro. I mean, protect yourself. God, I need to learn how to censor.
Yeah.
Because I like saying things without thinking.
I keep it PG.
Huh?
I keep it PG. Was
killing the babies PG?
Metaphorically, perhaps.
I'm gonna have to edit because if I want to, the first time you say it, or me, whoever said it first, I'm gonna stop the video. I'm gonna have to put an intervention in there, and just throw a
trigger warning,
like just to confirm to people watching it. It's like, oh, so it's actually a term.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. That's
so funny. Yeah, I take that term for granted a lot.
Are there any other terms that you know of that I'm really curious actually?
I don't know. The immediately what comes to mind is like dead cat.
That's.
I'm sure you've got one somewhere.
I think it's over there. It's on that top of the cart. It's basically like the for
It's a windscreen, yeah.
that's not. I mean that's
But
it's not dead cat, guys. Like not an actual dead cat.
I can't remember if someone told this to me, or if I made it up, or if I read it somewhere. But like, if you're editing, I don't know how much you edit, but like if you're editing and you keep like some good clips at like the end of the timeline,
Yeah.
that's my cemetery. This is what I call it because that's where all the dead clips go.
Really? You call it a
I call it a cemetery or like a graveyard. Yeah.
All right. From now on, when I go to work and be like, hey, we need all these shots in the cemetery right now. Hey, boss, we're killing the babies tonight. Hey. Thank you for informing us of killing the babies. Yes, you can move that around. As long as you don't kill any babies. All right, so personal life, buddy. Now, looking back to where you are now, and then looking back into your childhood, were there any signs that you saw when it comes to creativity or creative? I don't know. Were there any creative signs that you can think of when you look back on your childhood that led you to becoming a visual effects artist today?
Probably. I've always kind of considered, well, not always, but I've typically considered myself to be like one of the least creative people I knew, and
Really?
but that's just because I wasn't like doing anything with it, you know.
Okay.
Especially like when I was in high school, I learned magic, and I was really upset that I couldn't. I was like only learning things that people had already thought of, and I was upset with myself for not being able to think that way, to think creatively enough to like create a new magic trick.
Okay.
Which is a lot of pressure to put on yourself at 15.
Dude, that's the no matter how much you or how you put it, it's still a pressure because like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like you were still trying to find your way to express that, and it felt frustrating to not be able to do that as easy as other people.
Yeah, and learning magic for me was the same. It goes back to the same reason like why I want to tell stories that matter is like we talked about the feeling when you first watched Interstellar. Like that's a cool feeling that you have that to remember. And so like for me back then it was like the first feeling when you saw a magic trick, and it's like, whoa, you mean like
which magic trick? But was that, by the way, the
oh my gosh, I can't even remember at this point.
Was it like
I don't know. And again, like if I were to try to explain a magic trick, like it's hard. That's hard to do.
Based on that whole growing up from magic, is there a project or a goal in mind as a visual effects artist that would hopefully recreate the same feeling that you went through, but for other people? What is that one project, and what does that project look like?
I think it's kind of all of them. Like I try to bring that energy to everything that I do, particularly the super creative ones. I don't like using that word so much, but like for instance, a lot of times in my phone calls, it's for like object removal stuff, which sure there's a lot of artistry involved in it, but there's not much emotion, there's not much feeling behind removing a coffee cup from a table that shouldn't be there.
Whoa!
But happened? for things where like the script is impossible without visual effects, like that ad that we were talking about, or that short. I try to bring that energy to that and be, because for instance, a lot of people when they first watched that spot, they didn't even notice that there were visual effects in it until like the hat went up and came down, and then there's like a shot after that where he physically like walks in front of a mirror and it's the kid staring back at him. And then they were like, whoa, what? And then they rewatched the video and then noticed that throughout the whole video that was actually happening.
So it sounds like a good visual effects magic trick are the ones that you didn't even know it was a trick.
Yes, there's a saying in VFX that a visual effects artist, if he's good at his job, nobody will know.
Have you seen that movie? Okay. Wow. Okay, you're right. It is like trying to explain magic.
I know, right?
I think it was the movie Contact. The girl was running up the stairs.
I love
running
that
up the
shot.
stairs.
Yeah.
And then the mirror, and it just like, Okay, I've seen how it was done, but I would assume you already know how it was done.
There's a whole video on it
Okay.
by Cook Optics on their YouTube channel.
Okay.
With I think the DP or the camera operator, one of those guys who explains it in detail, like how they did that. And
Wait.
it'll blow your mind. 100% you should watch that.
Because like, what was your first thought? Okay, oh my god, it's just like Interstellar. You know, it's just that
Yeah.
feeling when you saw that in your mind. You know how when we watch movies, we always, for me, when I watch movies, okay, like, all right, that looks like it was. Hey, mom. Hey, dad. I think
Yeah.
that was film on. I think it's a red. Come on,
Right.
I don't know. So for in that same experience, do you think about that whenever you watch movies that are heavy in visual effects? Does your mind go straight into, okay, wait, I think that's a green screen. Wait, no, I think they rotoscoped that thing. I don't know.
I actually consider it a superpower that I'm able to like disconnect from that when I watch movies for the first time.
Oh, detachment.
Yeah, and I think that comes from magic so
Yeah.
much because like when you watch a magic trick, you want to be fooled by it, so that you're able to like disconnect from it a little bit and follow the magic instead of follow what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And so I bring that to like whatever movie I watch for the first time. But for Contact, I mean, the first time I saw that, I don't even think I was thinking about like movie making as a career. So I just kind of submitted to it. I was like, "Whoa, that is really cool."
I think it may have planted the seed.
Yeah.
You didn't even know it. It was just like, wow. Actually, going back to your personal life, you mentioned that you felt like you were getting frustrated with how you weren't like other people where they were getting it as easy as they made it seem.
Mm-hmm.
Do you consider yourself as a left brain or a right brain? You know how I think right brain, if I'm correct, right brain is logic, and then left brain is creative. I have to look that up.
I don't know.
Let me confirm the fact. Yes, right brain is for creativity, and then left side is for logic.
So probably the creative one.
Okay. How does that
Now-
look like for you? Or actually, no. How can you describe how your brain breaks things down as far as when you look at things in the creative, through the creative lens? If that makes sense.
Like as far as people coming to me for projects or
Yes, and like the way you see things and how your brain works.
I try to really just see things as they are first.
Okay.
So, like, if someone comes to me with an idea, I try to just like think of that idea without thinking of like what's under the hood immediately.
You have a third brain?
What?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, like I try to disconnect from the technical stuff of how things are done, and just kind of see things like face value first, and then try to break it down. If someone's like, I want a shot with a kitten dual wielding lightsabers on a velociraptor, I'm like, cool, that sounds great. I would love to see that.
Wow,
Let's mock it up first, and then let's go from there, I guess.
you know that it's a skill on its own, but it's like that's one of the things I didn't expect to hear because maybe it's just me or I've had some people where once they see something that's creative and it's just it makes them want to be more immersed. Whereas for you, it's like you take a step back. It's a polar opposite.
I don't see it like a puzzle.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people do, and for me, that just is taxing.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think of like. I mean, if it's a really cool shot, maybe I'll try to dive into the behind the scenes or think like, oh, I want to replicate this. How would I do that? But that's not till second, third, fourth, fifth watch of the movie.
So you're telling me you watch Interstellar 8 times?
Oh
or
man, I can't even count how many times I've seen Interstellar.
Batman, the new Batman. I know that's more cinematography, but I would
love
bet
that
there's a
movie.
lot of visual effects in it.
That movie is why I bought a motorcycle.
Huh?
I love that movie. That movie is the reason I bought a motorcycle.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yep. I wanted to be Batman.
What really bothers me is that it didn't win the I don't know what the name of the award is. It didn't win the cinematography award. It's some Oscars thing. It
That's a
wasn't even
shame.
considered.
That's a shame. I think Greg Fraser is really good, and he's kind of becoming a household name, I think, as well.
He
Which
is
is
a household name,
Yeah,
bro.
which is crazy for like a cinematographer. Like 10 years ago, people never
It's,
they didn't bat an eyelash at who was the DP on this film, and
Yeah.
unless it was us, like
Yeah.
the other creators.
Okay, I know it's off topic, but which one do you prefer? The Dark Knight trilogies that was directed by Christopher Nolan, or the one that was what's that? I forgot the DP's name again. Dennis Villeneuve,
It
or
was
it was.
Greg Fraser was the DP, and Matt Reeves directed it.
They're very distinct in their styles.
Yes, I love
For
the
sure.
Nolan versions.
Yeah.
Or the Nolan movies. But the Matt Reeves one, for some reason, I think it was more special, and I'll always love it a little
felt-
bit more.
Comic lore accurate.
Yeah, it felt like Gotham. Like you felt the grime, kind of.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Nolan, but his movies very much felt like Chicago.
And then he took
like
it out
it was-
so far, and like, wait, is that it?
What's
Is
that?
that Chicago?
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're like, oh,
that's not Gotham.
I've seen that train station.
You
Yeah.
know the first movie, Batman Begins, that felt more Gotham. Maybe at the night scene, it felt more Gotham.
Been a minute since I've seen it.
Huh?
It's been a while since I've seen it.
It just felt more Gotham, but then
Yeah.
it didn't feel like it.
You know what though? I'm willing to admit that what might lend itself to me feeling that way is that
What?
movie was shot mostly in London, and I have never been to London, much like I've never been to Gotham. So maybe like that made it feel a little more like foreign to me, or made
Yeah.
it feel kind of. But
Because you probably saw some of the architecture that's just
yeah, like
what is
like
this?
maybe people who live in London would be like, oh, I've been there.
But then when they watch that looks like Detroit, that looks like
Right.
it's just. Anyways,
Anyway, off topic.
Batman, guys. Ooh, love that movie. Okay, so let's talk about how we met.
I think I swiped right. I swiped right on your face.
I swiped right too, guys. You know what app was this, everyone? This was when was this?
Oh my gosh, 2018? Or was it before then?
Dude, I had to look up on my. I realized I still have your number.
Oh,
I
okay.
had to look up when I was doing research. I couldn't remember the name of the app, so I kept scrolling our messages until
Yeah.
I got to the top, and it was called Sharper.
I'm impressed that you were able to figure that out
Hey
because I
man,
could not remember.
dedication. I love doing this.
There's no way I
You
would
wanna
have
go
remembered
first?
that.
On your end, I want to know what. I'm actually curious.
There's a lot I don't remember about that app.
don't
I
remember-
remember I met. It's Tinder for businesses or for creatives. You build your profile and your business and what you do, and then you like swipe right on the people that you want to connect with,
Yes.
which was a problem for me because I wanted to connect with everyone, so I was
Yeah.
swiping right on everybody. And then there was a version that like you had to pay for. I don't remember what they locked
Which
behind
was
the
like an
paywall.
equivalent to Tinder Plus, is what you're saying?
It was like you had to pay to see what people swiped right on you. If you didn't yet swipe right on them, it was weird.
I don't remember
And
that
that's kind
feature.
of why I stopped using it. I was like,
Wait, why did you download the app?
why?
Yeah.
Because I was 19 at the time, and I wanted to make movies, and I didn't know anybody
Same.
who would
I was like,
let me make movies
I
with
need,
them.
I need people that I know.
Yeah. So
Okay,
actually, I
yeah.
met you, and there's one other person I met on that app that it's been a minute since I've spoken to him, but we still chat
Yeah.
every now and then, and those are the two connections that
Mm-hmm.
never came from that. Which is still two more than I would
Hey,
have had.
two
so
is better than
I'm
none.
thankful for it.
Two's better than the none.
Is that app still in the App Store?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Wait, no. But yeah, go on. So your story. Go on.
And then did I text you? Did I message? Did we message each other?
I don't
on that?
remember. I think one of us sent the message.
And then we were like, "Hey,
first.
let's do a photo shoot."
Yeah.
Did we met before we did that photo shoot though, right? I think we did coffee or something.
Wait, did you say 5 years? Holy shit! It's been that long.
It was a
So
while
I know
ago.
it's 20. It's just 2024 is around the corner. It just blows my mind that time flew by so fast.
It may not have been that
Well, I
long.
think I stopped by at the house first before we did the photo shoot.
I think so.
Show.
Yeah, I think we had met in person before then.
I do remember conversations where you go in depth about the black magic and you were talking about your color
Okay.
management issues. I
Okay.
remember having conversations about that.
That sounds like something I would have been talking about.
No, I feel like you were doing that because man, so at that time at 18 or 19, just
I want to say 18 or 19. I could be completely off.
hey, time's not real, guys. So it's look, number, our age, and at the time, it's just all a social construct. It makes sense.
We were different people.
Oh my gosh, how do you feel about at that time to where you're now?
So at the time, I thought I was, I thought I knew everything. I was like,
yeah,
and there was a lot that I knew. I knew how to shoot. I knew how to
Yeah.
edit. I knew how to color. I knew a little bit of visual effects.
yeah,
But I wasn't as focused as I am now in my career because I was like, I just want to make movies. Like,
Yeah.
whoever's gonna pay me to make a movie, I'm gonna do it. But now I'm like, no, I'm gonna stick in post production, and clients are gonna ship me hard drives, and I'm gonna.
Was
I'm
there a
gonna do
moment in
that.
time that made you that switched from that mindset of I want to do this, I want to get everything, blah blah, blah, I want to get paid, to now being more centralized into one specific part of the production in film production?
Yeah. So actually, the whole reason I learned to use a camera and to shoot film
What
was
that? Well,
the whole reason I used how to like even shoot
Yeah.
video to begin with was because no one around here, there was no opportunity around here to like do visual effects or post production at the
Okay.
time. Even now, it's really difficult to get those kind of jobs. But yeah, so I had, my dream has always been to be a visual effects artist, and realizing that like no one out here was going to hire me to do that at what 14 or 15 was when I started to learn it. Then I was like, okay, well maybe I should learn editing. Then I learned how to use Premiere, and then same thing. Not many people at that time in this area.
Pensacola?
Yeah, I was living in Navarre, but yeah, there were not a lot of opportunities for people who were there was just wasn't anyone looking for freelance video editors.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, maybe I'll learn how to do the rest of it. Maybe I'll learn how to use the camera. And then
Yeah.
it was my friend who brought me onto his like wedding team to shoot weddings for him. And then that's when I learned how to shoot. So I guess I learned backwards. I learned visual effects
Yeah.
and editing, then camera stuff. Anyway, what was the question I was answering? Oh, the switch from shooting to
Yes. What was
to-
one point
to
in time in your
post-production.
life that made you transition from instead of being so generalized in what you want to do to now being more focused on one area in film production?
So in 2021, I had a pretty good job working for a real estate brokerage
Okay.
here. But as far as like my dream of being a visual effects artist, it was very much the
A curve?
left turn from that. Like
Oh,
it was,
okay.
they're not the same road.
Yeah.
And so they let go like half of their marketing team
Holy shit.
one day, and I was on that half that they let go.
Oh, no.
And so I was kind of thrown into the freelance pool
Okay.
in Pensacola. And by this time, that was there was more like opportunities for freelancers in Pensacola. But like everyone and their mother is a director, DP, and camera operator. So I needed to like find a way to distinguish myself
Yeah.
and to be more valuable. So being in post-production was the choice, because like I wanted to do visual effects anyway. I know how to edit. I know how to like manage a team. So the decision to build a post house came from that. It came from it was closer to the direction where I wanted to go, and also it didn't like cam ops now are a dime a dozen in the freelance pool in Pensacola, and so I didn't want to be that.
So basically, shopper boy, all the way to the real estate brokerage, in which pushed you even more closer to now realizing that, okay, this is where I want to be. Do you feel like you're getting closer, or if you're not, what is the next step that will make you feel closer to your goal of being a visual effects supervisor that would be managing a team?
Um, I'm in the middle of launching a website for the new business. So once that's
What's the
all
website?
launched,
We're gonna sponsor it right now.
it's not live right now, but it will be etherealeditorial.com.
Okay.
The Instagram is up at Ethereal Editorial, but when that's up, that'll be like my post-production house where clients can come to me not as a freelance video editor. I am now their post-production supervisor. So if they want an editor, they come to me, and they're hiring me and my team
Yeah.
to basically post-production or post-produce their projects for them.
For people that are wanting to do, when they were in the same shoes as you were at 19, what would be the best advice for them as far as do you think they should focus on building up their skills first and then move, or move to a place where it offers more opportunities and learn from there? What would you have done if you were given that opportunity?
A bit of both. What's cool about post-production though
Yeah.
is you can do it from anywhere.
Okay.
So like moving's not entirely necessary. If you can go out to a bigger city, like a hub, like, or if you go to LA, or if you can go to Atlanta for a season, like even that will be super helpful. And the amount of people that you'll meet and shake hands with who will like change the trajectory of your career is insane. I mean, I was only in LA for 4 to 6 months.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, and like most of my clients are LA based now.
How do you give yourself the edge over the other client or other options that they could just find that are local, where they can do not the same stuff, but how do you give yourself an edge over them?
By being reliable. I cannot tell you how many people have come to me to like finish projects because their previous artist or artists have just ghosted them.
Oh,
People come to me because they know that I'm reliable, they know that I do good work, they know that I'm fun to work with, and that I will actually complete it.
in short, be reliable, be fun, and what other you mentioned there's a third.
Be good.
Yes, be fun,
So,
be good, be.
Being talented actually is it's not like top priority for people, for producers and directors. Like, yeah, you should be talented, but if they're shopping around
Yeah.
for visual effects artists, say they talk to like 3 guys, those 3 people that they're talking to, they've already narrowed down that like they can do the job.
Right.
That's why they're talking to them. So being talented is not like the most important thing to be. The job at that point will go to like the highest or the best communicator. So if you're good at communicating, if you can communicate confidence that you're going to do the job, confidence that they can like rely on you, being reliable again, and also that you're just not a douchebag, that's the person who's going to get the job.
So talent should maybe at least be taking a back seat, and you should be more focused on developing your soft skills.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, as creatives, we hate to hear it, but like, yeah, you got to learn to sell yourself.
So you're telling me I can't be hot shit and be an asshole? Really?
I mean, there's people who do that and they make a ton of money doing that, but
Oh, whoa. Okay.
but like, yeah, that guy who's like give an attitude to everybody on set is the guy
God
who's
damn it,
not
Daniel.
gonna get a
That
call
kind of
back.
attitude?
Yeah, he's not getting called
Screw
back.
you, Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm killing your baby. Have you ever had to compete for a job where he was like, "Fuck, I know I'm better. I know I'm a better option, but it just you take it so hard on yourself. Like, I know I can do better, but it just ended up going to someone else that for some reason they found them a better option over you."
That's a tough one. I've been lucky enough to work with people who uh, just like, again, when clients come to me, it's
Yeah.
usually because another artist like flaked out. So I can't even remember a time where I lost a job to someone that a client may have thought was a better fit. But I try to keep an abundance mindset to that. Like, there's enough work to go around, and you just will not like vibe with everybody. So yeah, sometimes people are gonna go to another person. You just kind of keep a good attitude about it, and also, I always tell people like, yeah, this is my job. Like, I need the paycheck, but if there's a better fit, like, no hard feelings. like,
Okay.
like I'll be here as if you need to bounce creative ideas off of me, or if this person creates something and you're looking for like notes to give them, or if you're looking for another set of eyes, like, I'm still here. You can still email me.
You're still that actually that's a whole valuable skill set.
Yeah, at the end of
Just
the
being
day, I want to
there.
see the movie get made. So
Yeah. Damn, dude, that's really hard to keep up, especially when you're, dealing with a lot of snakes.
it's
so
easy to
hard-
get
it's-
jaded on that. Yep, I agree.
It's so easy to become a villain. It's so hard to. We all want to be like Anakin, It's so hard to be like Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Yep.
to take the high ground. But man, it's so tempting to take that route of Anakin, dude.
Yeah. But again, it's like sometimes the relationship is just worth more than any paycheck. So even if they do go with someone else, you can still foster that relationship.
Sorry, this conversation reminded me of a lot of the bridges I've burned, and it's
It happens.
what can you tell them to just focus on first, the relationship or the amount of money they can get, the more money they can get from a client.
Definitely the relationship. Because if you have a good relationship with a client and they say they can bring you regular work for the next year, I know guys who will like discount rates for that, because the way they see it is like, some people will pay for marketing
Yeah.
to get more jobs, and this way they're not really paying for marketing, but it is sort of like exchanging money for more jobs.
So it's an equal exchange of.
Like, having consistent work is also valuable.
Sorry, man. I want $1 million.
I do too.
How do you balance your personal and professional life, especially in this demanding career?
I'm the wrong person to ask for that.
What?
I'm the wrong person to ask for that. I will work 12-hour days if I have to. But lately, I have been putting in a conscious effort to
Yeah.
like take time for myself, mostly for like stress management reasons. A few of my friends and I have this group that we call Geronimo's Curse. I don't know if you're familiar with that story.
Wait, which one?
Geronimo's Curse.
Geronimo's Curse.
That-
Okay.
That's just what we call ourselves, but that's a story. I'll tell you that some other
Okay,
time.
yeah.
It's a Pensacola lore story.
But then again, I don't live up there, so I may not have known that. But
So our little like Geronimo's Curse group, we try to meet together like every Sunday or so for coffee, and that's like our time to. We're all creatives, but that's our time to like not talk about work. And we put work aside for a minute. We drink good coffee, and we talk about like trips we want to take, or we talk about sometimes we talk about our goals for the future, but like we will not talk about work always slips in, but like that's our moment to put away like the stress. So
it's a support group basically that keeps you going, like making sure that
Pretty
you're
much,
not losing your goddamn mind.
yes.
But what are the steps that you're actively taking? Because you mentioned that you're taking conscious effort. So what does that look like? Because, dude, when we get a project that we're just so passionate about, we forget that we're human, and that at that point we're just like, no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not eating dinner until I get this shit done.
Yeah. Sometimes it does come to that, no matter how hard you try.
How you on to your?
But one thing that's helped me is setting client expectations in the form of a schedule. Building
Okay.
a post-production schedule has been like one of the best things I've done for myself, because it lets the client know like like, hey, I'm still keeping myself accountable
Yeah.
for these days. You're gonna have something done on this day, and then it keeps the client accountable too, because on the schedule it has when their notes are due.
Yeah.
And so typically it's like a delivery on a Friday and notes are due on Monday. I'm not working on the weekend. So
And that's a hard boundary right there.
There are no deliveries on Mondays and Tuesdays.
That I think I would imagine that's also stated in the contract because that no matter if this, some clients will ask, hey, Daniel, what's going on? Where are my goods?
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, I will very clearly in the contract create a schedule that says your deliveries will be this day, your notes will be due this day, and then, sometimes you don't some with a typical contract that's like three versions like we talked about, that might be like 3 weeks.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes you don't get 3 weeks, you only get like 2 or 1. If it's 1 week, you do what you can. But it's gonna cost you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I would imagine that's like all-nighter.
There's a rush me
That's
on
an
that.
all-nighter.
Yeah, but anyway, to get back to work-life balance.
Yeah.
Having a schedule has really helped like keep things on track, but also I don't feel like I have to stress out so much. Like if a client shoots me an email and says, hey, can we make this adjustment really quick?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have to do it that day or that night, because I know that like the delivery, the date for me to get version 2 out but still like, I don't know, 3-4 days away.
Do you impose like a 9 to 5? In a sense, like there's a time block that you know that you have to work between this time frame, but after that, that's it. I can't do work, so I could just make sure I'm giving myself enough safety net to allow a time for rest and relaxation before you get back into work.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes though, like I know, right? I love what I do. It's very fun. So like
I know.
instead of like sitting down or playing a video game, I'll sit down and just like keep working on the job because I love to see it.
It's that's such a dangerous.
I know
combination.
I've got to work on it.
Why-
It's something I will
what
always
is
be
it-
putting effort into.
We buy it,
Oh, I said it's something I'll always be putting effort into.
but it never goes anywhere because it just it's like. It's like trying to tell yourself you want to hit it, but you got to stop, but you want to keep hitting it.
Yeah.
PG-13, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
No, but what does an ideal lifestyle for you? When you get older, what does an ideal lifestyle look for you when you finally have things balanced and figured out?
That's interesting. I would love to be able to travel, honestly. Like,
Ooh, okay.
like there's the new fad of like being a digital nomad. I kind of want to be that sometimes. I feel like I would go crazy if all I was doing was traveling and like living in a van and working on a laptop. But
And
no,
editing on the go, it's like
yeah, that's never fun. But no, I guess like as far as like a realistic lifestyle would
Yeah.
be I want to eventually get a building where I can have me and eventually a team
okay.
to like work in, and then be able to like make my own hours. Maybe not 9 to 5 because I'm not a morning person, but be able to like go into work, turn on work mode, get everything done that I need to get done, and like have an environment where I feel inspired to get things done. And then when I leave the door,
Just stays there. It just stays there.
turn it off, and now I can do what I want.
Oh, how we wish we could live that now.
I know, but I'm building it.
Yes.
And it's again, building anything here is really difficult.
It's like killing a baby.
It'll come, but it won't come without burnout, which is the problem.
Actually, I'm curious. Was there any part of you that felt really terrified about how it may not work out? Because we always have ambitious goals, and sometimes it's hard to tell ourselves to accept that we've done it so many times. Maybe it's just not gonna work, but it's so hard to acknowledge that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's like a quote that I read that said something along the lines of like the difference between the person who fails or like the person who succeeds is how many times they kept trying. Because now if you just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying, especially around here, it can get to you and you can think, oh, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. But that's not good enough for me. Like I know that I need to be doing this like as a job. I need to be doing something creative. I need to be fulfilled doing it, and it needs to pay my rent. So like I just keep trying. Because yeah, if I were to, I could totally like quit tomorrow if I wanted to and wash my hands of everything and then
But you wouldn't.
pout and call myself a failure. But that's up to me.
You just wouldn't feel fulfilled if you did that.
Yeah. But also like it's my decision to keep going. Like you can, I guess what I'm trying to say is like it's not any outside source that makes you fail.
Yeah.
You just make the decision to keep it on.
I failed 9 times and quit 9 times.
Yeah, that sucks. But that's it. That's
But
the
I'm still
reality
here.
of this job.
But I'm still here and you're still here.
I've always likened success to winning the lottery. In the sense that like it takes a lot of luck to win the lottery.
Yeah.
You need a lot of luck on your side. But also if you're not putting in the work to like actually go to, I don't know, the gas station, wherever you buy lottery tickets from. Wherever you buy lottery tickets from. If you're not putting in the...
I actually bought a couple lottery tickets because I heard about the $1 billion. But anyways, not somewhat irrelevant, but yes.
If you're not putting in the effort to like actually get the lottery ticket,
you just won't get there.
then you're not creating opportunities for you to become lucky to find that success. Not that success is only luck, but also there is that hard work where like like you got to put in the work, you got to meet people who eventually you're going to meet one person who's going to like change everything.
It's just that one person. You just need one person.
Well, 3 or 4 would be nice.
Okay. All right.
But
okay. All right. 1 to 5 between those.
But like eventually you'll meet one person and be like, oh, this person like changed my career forever. And then
was there a person that you've met?
Dennis Williams. Yeah,
What?
Dennis Williams.
Okay.
With that Russell Westbrook shoot, he took a chance on me, man. He had not seen any of my like previous work.
Really?
It was just like word of mouth thing. He needed a visual effects guy. He didn't know anyone, so he like asked his friends, and then one of our mutuals like connected us together, and that the shoot was the next day. So it was like make or break, like it had to happen. And he was like, are you sure you can do it? And I was like, yeah, no, I can do it. And then here we are, and now we're working on a feature together. Actually, we're working on like a feature-length documentary, which I have to get to once I get home.
Might be NDA. NDA.
Yeah.
But no, it goes back to what you said earlier. Being reliable, being also easygoing with people, and being confident in what you do and how you say it. I think those are all big contributions to how you got that job, especially through word of mouth. I know you guys clap for him.
Thank you.
We can pretend to hear you clapping through the other side of the screen. You have been a visual effects artist for about 6 years. Yes, I did some research. I had the FBI and the CIA do some research on you.
Cool.
What are some of the highlights of your career and challenges that you have faced? You do not need to list them all, but what are some of the memorable ones?
So recently, I've had the lovely experience of working with the visual effects supervisor from Creed 3.
Okay.
And They Cloned Tyrone on Netflix.
Oh, look at that. That's a flex, guys. Netflix. He just dropped the name Netflix.
So I didn't work on that. I didn't work on that movie.
Yeah.
I worked with their visual effects supervisor. Make that clear. But he's kind of like taken me under his little VFX wing. And that's been like just a joy because he's been through it, you know? So he's been the one that's kind of like coaching me on like how to not let yourself be taken advantage of by clients or even silly little like tips of like, oh, every time you there was this one shot in particular that was just it was kicking me. It was really freaking hard to do it. And he was like, "Oh, try looking at like your red, green, and blue channels
Whoa.
before you like submit it, and then it'll let you know like what you need to do after that."
Yeah.
And that was something that like I never would have considered. So yeah, he's been teaching me everything from like the client maintenance side to the creative side to like the technical side of things, and he is the coolest. So yeah, that's probably been one of the highlights is meeting him, and then from there, he introduced me to another team that's been really fun to work with. I don't know how much I can say about that.
And yeah, guys,
until it comes out.
all good.
But I am very excited, and there are people who have made movies also that you've probably seen in theaters. So we're excited. Well, I'm excited to finally get a link to that project that we worked on.
Dude, I gotta say, I'm actually proud of you here. When I hear this, it's like it's such a big progress from meeting you on Sharper to now. Seriously,
It feels more focused, doesn't it?
I know.
I feel like I finally know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, and then with that, I would imagine if you didn't have that clarity and strong focus, I don't think you would have made that many progress if you were just as generalized.
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
It's like
It helps to know everything. Wow. It helps to know about every aspect of filmmaking. So I'm
Yes.
very glad for that experience. But yeah, definitely. I'm also glad that I was able to make the necessary changes to like put myself back on the path of where I actually want to go.
yeah. Now, what about the challenges? You can just name one.
Okay, there's a short film that I was working on over the summer
Yeah.
that went 4 months beyond the deadline. This was another case of scope
damn.
creep where
Oh no.
yep, the director
Oh,
kept moving the
no.
goalposts. We we had like agreed on a certain look
Okay.
in pre-production.
Oh no.
Side note, if you're working on a project and you expect visual effects to be like kind of heavily involved, include them in pre-production. Everyone's gonna have a better time. Anyway, so we decided on a certain look in pre-production, and
Yeah.
we pulled screenshots from other movies that we had seen, and we were like, okay, we want it to all look like this, and we're all on the same page.
Okay. Following the story so far. Okay.
Can I say it? I think I can say it. We were making holograms, and we picked from like Iron Man holograms, the kind of like translucent style 3D sort of thing. And everything's like very busy in those movies, but everything also looks like it has a purpose.
Yeah.
Nothing's there just to be like abstract.
Okay.
And then we were conceptualizing those shots for a long time.
Okay.
And this was because it was like it was a short film. It was a narrative project. I was willing to do more revisions than usual just to like get everything down
Was this
exactly.
fueled by how much you enjoyed the process? Because you were willing to do
I did
that?
love it. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was very excited to be like, oh, this, like you think of Iron Man, one of the first things
He's
you think
the
of
one
is
that started everything.
Yeah, one of the first things you think of are the holograms. And that's like I've always wanted to create something like that, like that was like almost another character in the movie,
Right.
essentially. And then again, the Apple Vision Pro commercial came out, and then suddenly we were making that. So we went from like these types of holograms to this like AR kind of looking thing. And then it was another case of like we started moving backwards on shots where stuff that had been originally approved,
Yeah.
we were going backwards to like change that now.
Yeah.
And that's when I made the difficult decision to text the director, or I probably should have made that a phone call,
We
but
probably should have stopped here.
probably. Yeah, and then I had to bounce out because at that point
Yeah.
it was costing me money to work on that project. But
So, in other words, we had to kill that baby.
yep.
In this industry, visual effects artists are usually the underpaid. They're very underpaid. The reason why I say this because I've heard article or not. Why would you hear from articles? I've read in an article all over the web. You know, we have industries or not industry companies like Marvel. We have Disney. We have all kinds of studios where they cut so much budget from the visual effects artists to even make like Spider-Verse. That's one. We also have Jesus Christ, there's so many. What is your opinion on what are your thoughts on those kind of people that have to live with that environment, especially when they want to change this as a career? What can you give to them as far as setting expectations?
So that's probably a question that I can't answer.
Okay.
Mostly because these are issues that big, enormous studios deal with that are like way further up than I am. So like I'm not working in those studios. And I know they're unionizing or they're voting to unionize, which is great. That's awesome. But
Unionization is important.
we're yes, we applaud it. But again, like I'm not in a union.
Yeah.
I probably won't be in a union for a long time. I don't think I'm not sure I can answer that question, unfortunately.
In how many years can you see yourself being in a union? I don't actually know how that process looks like.
I don't know. I mean, like I don't see myself doing Marvel movie level visual effects anytime soon, and it's because of that.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't want. I feel like I could make more money doing less work if I didn't work on a Marvel film.
Are you familiar with the Blumhouse?
Slightly, yes.
It's
They're a distributor.
no, it's a
production?
digital. Yeah, look it up. Blumhouse. The reason why I'm bringing that up is that you mentioned a post production company that you want to open up. I would imagine that's the kind of career path where you have total control over what you want to do versus having to abide what the studios want you to do.
That is exactly it.
Remember Snyder Cut? I don't know if you watched Justice League, man, but
Yeah.
it's exactly like that.
Yeah, I'm as a freelance video editor, you kind of tend to be like on the bottom of the totem pole. It's just the way it is.
It is what it is, guys. Sorry, that's the hard truth about this.
And I'm tired of being someone's like number two. I'm tired of. So I want to come onto projects as a post producer or post supervisor. Someone who like has say in these projects or who can I want to be the king of my domain and then collaborate with other kings of their domains. I don't
Daniel, you ain't a king in this podcast right now. I'm kidding. That's good. That's good. But then how do you make sure you're not being too cocky and arrogant when you try to achieve that goal? Because most people say, nah, dude, I'm the best.
That's fine. You can be the best. You can be the best on your projects. I'll work on mine.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I'm just tired of being like someone's number two. I'm tired of
You're gonna be number one.
these. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how to say it. I'm sure I'll think of it and probably text it to you.
You're good.
Like
I think that's good. You're making sure you're not getting canceled. I am going to be the one that's gonna get canceled. What was one project? I think this is the one that I wanted to talk about. The honor to give. I want to learn about how that process was like from not the whole process, but some of the memorable bits of that process as far as leaning heavily onto your creativity, your problem solving skills, and how that turned out.
So that was really fun.
Okay. Also, can you give a context as to what that project was like, as much as you can, without having to, go across the NDA line?
Yeah, I mean it's out now, so we can talk about it. When Dennis came to me about that project, it was like a day or two before they were shooting. Didn't like that.
Really?
No, again, I love to be involved in pre-production. Technically, I guess they were still in pre-pro at that moment.
Yeah.
But there was not a lot of time to talk about like what's possible given the budget or like what we can't do or what should we do differently.
Yeah.
It was just like, I want these shots. Can you do it?
I'm listening.
Okay. And so, especially too, because there was a lot of camera motion in them. There was a lot of camera
Oh.
movement.
Yeah.
But wasn't really particularly happy about that too. So I want to say I even told him like, hey, during the day, like since there's not going to be a visual effects supervisor on set, there wasn't a budget for one. Like maybe shoot it two ways. Shoot it with the camera movement that you want, but also put it on sticks.
Okay.
Just in case, we can't do it. We never had to use the sticks shots. When he came to our studio and we talked about it. He sent me the pitch deck and the script, and all that good stuff. And then when he left, I went to work immediately to create a list of things to do. So I guess I was kind of like remote visual effects supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
I created a list of like for each shot. I want to say there were 7. I think we dropped 2 and there ended up being 5 in the whole spot. I could be wrong about that. I want to say there were 7 shots in it. It's not a lot of shots.
But that still sounds like a full day, especially with the amount of planning and,
Yeah,
making
I
the
just
shots be
I
done.
just took it shot by shot and tried to be as specific as I can. Again, it could sound a lot like describing a magic trick when you're describing how to shoot something.
Yeah.
So that can be really difficult. I learned a lot about how to do that as well, because there were definitely there was at least one or two shots where like you can tell there was a little bit of miscommunication, almost certainly on my end,
Yeah.
just from not like describing it enough. But nothing that was impossible to fix. But it was also one of those things where like you describe something to someone, you say, hey, shoot it like this, you get the footage back and it's entirely different than what you said.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, oh my god, like this looks great, and I want to help, but I'm not sure what to do about this.
Was that because I remember watching the Honor the Gift. I saw the one where there was I think the graduation cap that was thrown up in the air. I saw one where it was on the sticks. It was the mirror, and then I saw the one where he was I think walking out the closet, and then
That's the one.
that's the one.
That's the one. That was the most difficult one to do. And
I thought it was the graduation thing.
that was probably a close second.
How come that if I remember, that looks like a steady shot, panning from left to right.
Yeah, it is.
How come that was the hardest?
It should have been the original plate of Russell walking from one side of the room to the other.
Yeah.
Move the camera then, but in the shot of the kid on the mirror, that probably should have been locked down.
Okay.
So I just in post I ended up like having to lock that down through like camera tracking and then just reversing the motion. And even still, I think if you pixel peep it, you can tell that the mirror kind of warps a little bit.
Really?
Because
Okay,
of
I'm gonna
that.
have to take
Yeah.
a look at that. But okay.
Also, if you look at it, you can tell that I shouldn't be saying this but it's flown under the radar long enough. You can see a little bit of like the kid's jacket where he's not supposed to be. No one's ever noticed.
What then?
I can't even remember if Dennis noticed it.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, no, I'll show it to you afterward.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not supposed to look like that, and I was very upset of that that I wasn't able to fix that part. But then it was
it like was it one of those things where because you guys were the ones created, you can tell right there it is. But for most people, when they see it, it's not.
I think so too. Yeah, I think it's also a case of like misdirection. Your eyes just aren't
Yeah.
looking that way.
Yeah.
Ever. So like when I gave it to my editor, I was like, I'm not going to tell you what's wrong with this shot, but if you see like a glaring issue, just let me know, and then we'll work around it. And it took him a minute, and he couldn't figure it out, and then I pointed it out to him, and he was like, oh, he was like, yeah, I think it was him who just said like, don't mention
Yeah.
it. No, I don't think anyone's going to notice, and yeah, I'm not even sure the director noticed. So Dennis, if you're watching,
I didn't even
talk about
notice until you. So I think you're fine.
it's been what, 2 years now, so
No, I'm just
one's-
racking
no
through
one's
my
mentioned
brain. No.
I'll show it to you after we're done.
No,
recording.
you're good.
Yeah.
But I was just like, as you were explaining, I kept watching the video. The one with the mirror, it didn't look work to me at all.
It-
And then
it was hard to make sure that it looked the way that it does.
props to you, dude.
Oh, also they had tracking markers on the wrong plate as well.
Wait, what?
So they put tracking markers on the mirror,
Huh?
and they only had it in the shot with the kid. I keep calling him the kid. I can't remember his name. I feel really bad about that.
Hey, we're not also going to disclose. Just kid. That's kid.
Sure.
Yeah.
So they put tracking markers on his shot rather than Russell's shot, which is where I wanted the tracking
What was
markers
I thinking that? Because all those tracking markers has to be placed correctly. I mean, it's obvious that it needs to be done that certain way, but how come that wasn't done correctly?
I probably just because I didn't describe it well enough in the document that I sent.
Miscommunication. It's always going to happen, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Mhm.
Okay.
So quick
You got me
Photoshop
racking my
job.
brain about that video. I want to watch. But anyways, okay. Were there anything else that you wanted to mention about as far as being proud of that project or lessons learned, anything like that?
Definitely learned how to communicate better, or
Okay.
learned that I should communicate better. I'll always be learning how to communicate better. I also learned that I do have enough experience to like be able to lean on now, because
Wait, lean off.
to lean onto.
Okay.
Because it was that shot that I was like, I don't know if I can really fix this, and then you get to work on like, well, what needs to happen for
Yeah.
this to be usable? Like you make a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then like I did it, which is that made me super proud to be able to like fix not be able to just like make the shot happen, but also fix the plates so that way they were usable to make the shot happen. There's no tutorials for that online. You just have to work it out.
It's because I feel like those are sometimes those are the moments that we actually need, even though we hate it the most. I think those are the moments that test how well you know what you your skills, and I think those are also breakthrough moments where breakthroughs can happen in terms of feeling okay, I made it through, but you actually walked away with a lot of valuable experience that from that point on you were able to accomplish that specific project or not the specific problem, but in a different form, and you were more
Yeah.
competent in doing that. So I think
So thank
props to
you
you for
yeah,
that,
now
man.
I know that I can solve that specific problem, but
Yeah.
now I also know that if something else comes up, I can think about it and solve it.
yeah,
Guess I know that about myself now, which is a good feeling.
it's like that quote you said, people can fail so many times, but what you did was, yes, it didn't come out as good, but you went through and made sure that you did your best, whereas most people will not give a will not give a single iota of their energy of being better. So, dude, seriously,
Thank you.
props to you for that. Okay, what are some of the things that most people do not know about working in this industry?
In film as a whole, or
In visual effects.
visual effects?
Number one, you sit on your ass a lot.
Yeah, get a standing desk. It'll help your back. Because there's so much. I think a lot of people just don't know about the process.
Well, actually,
Like producers and directors don't know that they can afford it. You know, like a lot of times when people think visual effects, they think
yeah.
big budget stuff. They think Marvel and they think superheroes and they think, oh, I can't afford to do that. But it's like if you have an idea that's going to need visual effects, like talk to a post-production producer about it. Because chances are it's a lot cheaper than you thought it was going to be.
Okay.
And even if like with your budget, if that idea is not possible, like post-production people hate to say no. I don't know if that's an ego thing or not, but like if you come to me and ask like, hey, is this possible? Here's my budget. We're not going to say no, it's not possible. We're going to say
Maybe they're scared to say or hurt the feelings of the other
it could be
person?
that, yeah, but like also we'll give alternatives if you have a great idea
Yeah.
that we think is great as well, like then it's our job to like make it happen.
I think it's more beneficial to be more upfront about it, in my opinion. Let's say you
Yes, communication is key from the beginning.
Yeah, imagine we're on that project again. Hey, we're not going to put the trackers on the mirror. I think it's a great idea. And you're going to tell me, it's okay. Let's,
I wish you would.
as a freelancer and as a visual effects artist, what would you say that makes you different from everyone else, specifically in the visual effects industry?
The thing that I'm learning about myself that makes me different than everyone else is something we talked about already, is being reliable.
Yes.
I mean, I'm working on 2 projects right now that the directors have come to me saying, like, look, my guys have ghosted me.
Make sure you don't ghost.
Yeah, again, like, I don't think I'm more talented than anyone. Like, there's always going to be someone better. So I'll never say, like, I'm the best option. But I will say that, like, I am nothing if not reliable. I care a lot about my reputation, what people say and what people talk about me. So when I come on board to a project, I care about finishing it. So yeah, I'd say that.
Reputation is everything.
Yeah, reputation is important, and you should be very protective over it.
How can one recover their reputation, though?
It takes time. It takes a lot of time.
What does it look like taking care of that reputation?
Communication and client maintenance. Just if something's going overtime, like a little bit longer than you thought it was going to take, communicate that. Or if something's going to be more expensive than you thought it was going to be, communicate that. Or even if you don't know how long something is going to take, and if it's like a new, what's the word? If it's new territory for you,
Yeah.
Communicate confidence that you can do it if you can. But also communicate that, like, hey, I can't promise a timeline on this.
It sounds like setting boundaries or expectations at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, well, maybe not. I can't promise a timeline on that. That's bad to say to a
Overpromise,
client.
underdeliver, or something like that.
But yeah, essentially, like, hey, or maybe you say, like, the timeline that you set for this could be a little tight, but we're working on it, and we're gonna, we're gonna set checkpoints throughout everything to make sure that we're all on the same page. And then now you have checkpoints, which are designed for, again, communication and client maintenance and setting expectations.
Before it all goes down in fire. Okay.
Hopefully
Right.
not.
What? No. It's like doing all of those is just as important as making sure that your reputation is intact and making sure that people love working with you before they get better help. Okay, I'm censoring that. They love working with you. Stop right there.
Yeah, I mean, so when I
Yeah.
exited from my previous business partner,
okay.
I took a lot of our clients out for like brunch the next day, and I was like, hey, I know you're kind of upset with the way this project went. I was like, I want you to know that I did everything I could. I was like trying to get him to work, but he wouldn't lift a finger. Like, please don't lump me in with that. I like working with you. I want to continue working with you. I'm gonna start my own thing. So like, let's stay in touch.
Okay. That's hard.
It was really hard.
People don't want to admit that they were wrong.
No.
Or not wrong, but in that sense, like they don't want to admit that they didn't live up to their.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
It's not fun, but
For you, what did it take for you to get to that point where you just want to be right, you don't want to be proved wrong, but at what point did you actually have to learn that? Okay, ego, you gotta chill, bro.
this industry will chew you up and spit you out. So if you're like, again, reputation is important, and you should be very protective over it. And if there is an instance where your reputation is like maybe on the line, you got to be on that. So like, yeah, I wouldn't say it was any one thing. Well, yeah, no, definitely like that project and the way we handled it was really bad. That was the one thing, but like, it was kind of a knee-jerk reaction to be like, this is already this is a lost cause. So what can I do to at least mend the relationship so that way it doesn't burn any bridges?
Well, actually, now, what is the definition of value-based pricing for you, and why did you choose that specific strategy over project-based and hourly?
So I still do project-based and hourly. Well, not really hourly anymore, but like day rates if I have to, for like smaller projects. But for bigger projects that have a strategy behind them, then yeah, maybe you start talking about ROI with the clients,
Yeah.
and you start talking about like if they spend X amount of dollars, they get Y amount of dollars back, and then that's an offer they're not going to refuse.
How do you guarantee those results, though?
As a creative, it's not your job to guarantee that. That's up to the marketing people.
I promise you, if you invest $5,000, which may seem like a lot, but if you look at your income, it'll be just a penny in a drop. It's a penny for you. But I promise you, if you drop this amount of money, I can guarantee you that you will see like 110% increase in your sales. That's really hard.
That is really hard. I don't guarantee results. I guarantee
But isn't that what
really
value-based
good visual
pricing is,
effects.
though? You try to bring some sort of similar results that you would promise in the beginning. At least that's what it looks like. Because if you're saying like, all right, I'm going to get you 25% increase if you let me take over the motion graphics department where I can get you deliverables to be posted on Instagram, you should be able to see sales convert. You should be able to see your audience being converted to sales in 25% increase.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that looks the best that it's going to look.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that you're presented in the best light. But as far as like the actual marketing goes and the strategy, that is not what we do at a post-production house.
Okay. Damn. No,
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of like video producers who also act as marketing agencies.
Yeah.
And I applaud them, but my brain doesn't work that way, and nor do I really have any interest in providing that.
You're the first person I've ever met that has used value-based pricing. I'm serious. That's
Really?
a compliment.
It is new for me, something I'm like still switching to, because a lot of the projects I work on are still low budget, and they come to me with like, hey, we've got X amount of dollars. Can you do it for that?
Yeah.
And then from there, you just have to negotiate like, well, yeah, we can like maybe for $2,000 we can do 10 instead of 15 shots.
Yeah.
Or we can do all 15 shots, but like minus the motion tracking that you wanted to do or something like that. Or like this object removal is not going to happen.
I think that's going to be easier for you when you get your post-production company. You'll be able to market that off instead of having to convince the client.
That's why I'm
other
building
option.
that. Yeah. To be kind of like seen
I'm
more as a
actually hoping
company
that-
than a freelancer.
I hope that it becomes successful, dude.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
You got balls, bro. For people that are starting in this industry as a visual effects artist, what can you tell them as far as how to set the prices and what is your negotiation process like?
That's a tough one. I am a firm believer that like only you know what your prices should be. If you want to shoot me a DM and ask me about what budgets were for previous projects, I'd be happy to talk to you about
What's your
numbers.
DM? What's your at?
At VFXDanny _ on Instagram, because I
Right
wasn't
here.
quick enough to grab the first VFX Danny.
Okay.
Also a very talented person. Never met him.
But but also, we don't want to undervalue ourselves too, because
Sure.
don't shoot yourself in the foot.
No, I mean, yeah. Usually when you're first starting out, what I tell people is like, pick a number that you want to make, and triple that.
Oh,
Because you probably are like
Yes.
undervaluing yourself. So like start there.
yeah, and people don't even account for the fact that they have expenses because they think the number that they're going, okay, I just got paid, well, that's 500, but then
Yeah.
you got other stuff that you need to take care of, and it just really is probably 500.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like overhead to keep track of, and
Yeah.
like your gear, your equipment, or like any software that you use. If you're paying electricity, all of that, even like your internet connection, like
Basically-
all that factors in your overhead.
Life is a subscription. I can't wait to cancel my life subscription.
Yeah, and then the government's gonna come after a third of it. So,
Oh my god.
and you got to save that for when they do. So,
Not if I went off the grid and have a Cayman Island.
right.
account. So, can you describe your project workflow when it comes to managing multiple visual effects projects while maintaining good time management and communication with your clients?
Yes, I am currently battling with that actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because like I said earlier, like building a schedule is probably one of the best things I've done for myself
Mm-hmm.
as far as like work-life balance, but also balancing multiple projects at the same time. So I know like, okay, this project is due this day, this project is due this day.
Yeah.
And then I can prioritize based off of that. Like this is going to be quicker. Or this deadline's coming up quicker. So I need to focus more time and energy onto this. Um, but yeah, again, just building schedules and then being upfront with the clients about uh, hey, I've got other projects that I'm working on. If you want me to put a red hot rush on this, it's going to charge you, or it's going to cost you for me to. Now I either have to like push back deadlines with another client, or I need to find another artist to like sub some other stuff out to.
Meaning outsource.
Yeah.
Okay.
And which is, or like find another freelancer, which is gonna also cost me money, and I'm not gonna eat that.
Do you have a team right now?
I've got a team of freelancers, yeah, but like no, I don't have employees.
Okay. Okay. Because like outsourcing is definitely cost.
Yeah, and then again, when you outsource, you're putting your reputation on the line. So like
Yes.
you better make sure that those are people that either you trust or people that already have a good reputation.
But at what point do you see yourself developing a team where, or that specific group of freelancers, do you imagine yourself having one of them become an employee of yours at some point?
That's the ultimate goal.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're a little too early in the stage right now to be putting a number on like when that might happen.
Yeah, no problem.
But I would love to see that happen in the near future, like in the foreseeable future.
DM VFX Danny with his untitled project coming up. If you have a resume or CV, you can send it to his Instagram, VFX Danny. We are looking for people in Pensacola or within the Florida region. Again, visual
Or anywhere.
the VFX.
We can do visual effects from anywhere in the world, especially if you live on a part of the world where it's dark when it's night when it's bright over here. Then I can send you work that you can do while I'm sleeping. That's even better.
I just read a book about that. I didn't, because when I first heard of outsource, I was like, okay, it's gonna be, I can just do this myself. But when I read about the idea that you, like for you, if you send off the project to someone on the other side of the globe and it's day, and you it's like literally you sleep while work is getting done.
Yeah, you send
That's
off the project,
genius.
and then, well, if it's something that can be done in a day, you send it off before you go to bed, and then you wake up and it's done.
Yeah, but that's like automating your workflow to a
Yeah.
point where it's easier, and you free up time for you to focus on your business instead of like running around like a madman trying to get one project done and then having to do another one. I might have to think about outsourcing.
Yeah, it's tough. Again, you're putting your reputation on the line depending on who you're working with, but
All right, guys. I know it has been a long video, but I hope you're enjoying the content. And if you want to see more visual VFX Danny, that's his Instagram handle. If you want to see more of his stuff, it's right there. And if you're also looking for someone that can handle your project and you need a really talented visual effects artist, it's Danny.
here I am, always available.
Well, tell them your socials again.
It's at VFXDanny_, and also the new company is at Ethereal Editorial.
Spell that for them just in case, people might misspell.
Oh, it's oh my gosh, it's
It's a spelling bee contest now.
ETHEREAL.
Okay, yeah.
Editorial EDITORIAL.
Make sure you don't misspell that in your
Did I
LLC
write?
paperwork.
I know, right? I'm like, if it's on a keyboard, I can do it really quick. So I'm having to map that out in my brain.
Imagine you getting a letter and you're just like, it's IRS or say, we have noticed you have made unusual transactions. Do you have a front company? Make sure you don't misspell
Yeah,
it.
it's not
why did you
ethereal,
pick that
editorial.
name? Yeah.
I've always liked the word ethereal.
Okay.
And building a post-production house, I wanted to make it sound kind of, what's the word? Like high class, I guess. It's not
Supernatural, high class.
well. The word ethereal.
Out of this world.
It's like too pure for this world or too perfect for this world, and
okay.
so we kind of want to, again, talking about reputation, we want to talk about, or we want to start that, create that impression like right off the get-go with ethereal editorial.
What was the other part?
I also love alliteration. So
alliteration.
yes.
Shit. What was that? What's that definition?
So
is that like a repetition of?
It's like a repeated letter. So like ethereal editorial.
I need to go back to language class. Anyways, okay. What was the other word? Ethereal.
Editorial.
Ethereal.
So we
editorial.
do more than editorial. We do more than just video editing, but I like the sound of it.
So making out of this world edits where we can transport your project to a whole nother level in which is untouchable, which is one of its kind.
Do I need to pay you for that?
Huh?
Do I need to pay you for saying that?
No, you're good.
Okay.
All right. Now, as we approach to 2024, oh my gosh, dude, that's like that's four Mondays left.
Month away. I got a lot of work to do before then.
What?
I've got a lot of work to do before then.
Oh, is that why before the 11th? You mentioned before the 11th?
Oh no, that's a whole another thing.
Because I was thinking when you said, okay, this probably got a lot of work until the 11th. That sounds like a deadline before the holidays. But anyways, as we approach to 2024, how do you envision yourself in the visual effects industry, and what role do you see yourself playing in it?
Ooh, I think we're gonna see a lot more AI advancements than even right now.
Oh shit. I want to talk about that for a second.
Okay.
But please go on.
I think a lot of creative people are scared of AI because they think it's going to take their job. I don't share that sentiment. I've used AI to like rotoscope a shot that would normally take me all day.
Okay.
In like 30 seconds, and I can charge a day rate for that still. So it's a tool that's saving me money and saving me time. So I for one welcome it.
Okay.
And like, yeah, I've never had a director say like, oh, I'll just use AI to rotoscope this myself. Like it's these tools are like, you still have to learn to use them.
Yeah.
And it still takes an artist's touch to like, the AI can't do it all the way. So it still takes an artist's touch to like bring it home, really. So the state of it right now and the state of where it's going, I think it will just become another tool in my arsenal that I can't wait to implement.
Okay. Lots of things to impact here.
Yes.
But, no, there is no but. We'll take a step back into history. When Photoshop and all of the software were released, at one point people actually panicked that they were losing jobs. You have photographers, editors, way before the software were introduced. They had this old school method of producing their work, and now when they came into the picture, no pun intended, there was a bit of a panic. But now it got to a point where it's just a tool. How is it that you're not? I agree, computer. How is it that you're not afraid of that? Because, like, have you seen Linkin Park? I don't know if you have, but they have one video where it was AI generated. You may not have seen it. It was just like, but it looks. All you need to know is that it was AI generated, and it looked like it could have been the work of someone who was a visual effects artist. So, with that in mind, how are you keeping yourself not on the edge with the fact that AI is going to get better than from this year alone? It's like that's a terrifying thought.
I don't believe that Linkin Park themselves used AI to make that video. They probably hired someone who knows how to use the AI, and like, so those jobs still exist. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it's just another tool that I think people are going to have to learn to use if they want to stay relevant. So like maybe that might scare you, but welcome to the world.
Well, I mean, I think the one thing I'm more terrified of is the fact that yes, now once it becomes more general knowledge with the AI, wouldn't it necessarily devalue the artists, the people that take the time to learn their craft, and all of a sudden AI comes to the picture and just literally obliterates their years.
It might, but I don't.
You look like,
I was.
let's
Yeah,
go.
I know. I was about to say something a little out of pocket. um,
It's hard. It's really hard, especially when it's blowing up right now.
So I just don't want to offend anyone.
Okay.
But when companies hire graphic designers today, they're hiring people who know how to use Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop.
Yeah.
They probably are well aware that Canva exists and they can.
Wait, Canva?
Canva. Have you used Canva before?
Yeah.
So it just simplifies that process. But if you want a professional who's going to take the time to make an intentional design for you and use design theory and make it artistic, you wouldn't use Canva. You would hire someone who knows how to use the tools still. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. It makes perfectly sense, actually.
Because they're just. I think AI tools will just become another thing to have to learn as a creative person. I don't think it's coming for your jobs. At least not yet. Because
That's
these.
the keyword right there, dude.
I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens, but.
Terminator.
But whatever I do know, whatever happens, there's gonna have to be someone who's pulling the strings of the AI. Someone, because even ChatGPT, there's got to be someone who prompts it to do something.
And you have to specify and refine the question to get.
Yeah, and there are people who are really good at prompting it.
Yeah.
And there are people who are just who just mess around with it. And even AI prompt engineer, I think, is a new job title that is resurfacing
AI
or surfacing.
Prompter?
AI prompt engineer. Yeah, so it's again. I think we're just gonna have to learn how to use these tools in order to want to stay relevant. But also they save us time and they save us money. So
honestly, is that one of the things that you're excited to look forward to in 2024?
I can't wait to see how it gets implemented into my workflow, because already it sort of is to an extent.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to have it even more so just streamline our process and make our clients happier.
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I'm just picturing the Skynet, right? It's going to be a beautiful image. Great. Were there any other goals that you have set for yourself in 2024, both personal and also professional?
My goal is I've had this, I think I showed it to you. I've had an outline of a space movie, of this short film that I've been wanting to make for a long time.
Okay.
Did I not show it to you?
You've never, dude. We haven't seen each other in a long time.
Okay, so the reason why I thought I showed it to you was because I definitely showed it to Shelby on the day that I asked her to be in the photo shoot that we did. So.
Wait, really?
Yeah, so that's how long I've had this idea for.
Did you explain it when we were driving to this photo shoot?
Maybe. I talk about this to everyone. It's kind of like my Interstellar.
I don't think I remember.
But
then again, it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
Go on.
I've had this idea for a space movie for way too long. It's just a tiny, scrawny skeleton outline right now. Yeah. I'm not a writer. I've tried a few times to sit down and actually write it. ChatGPT is not doing a good enough job. I've tried a few times to write it.
Yeah.
My brain doesn't work that way, but I'm still trying. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think that would be my ultimate goal for next year is to direct and produce it, and also flex my skills as a visual effects artist.
I think you're able to say that now because at that time I would imagine it felt like shit. That's a big ass project, but now with the experience you have,
tall order, yeah.
That's a hell of a. But then again, there have been projects that were in the development hell for so long, and now I think this could be the breakout movie too. But who knows?
I hope so. I also need to save up so I can pay all the people that I intend on having on the team. So
If you guys want to help, VFX Danny,
hit me up.
hit him up. All right, guys, we're now in the closing. Unfortunately, this will be the first and last time you'll see visual FX or VFX Danny, unless I pay him to be here. We'll see how that goes.
No, I'll always come. I'll always come out every time you ask.
Maybe in LA when you're down there, or when you're in Atlanta. I don't know where the hell you're gonna go, but
We'll
I'll
figure
let you
something
know.
out.
But so, let's say that your entire life has been captured through like a sets of photos or in a video reel, like a demo reel, and you're able to watch it from the beginning and to the end. What kind of person do you aspire to be at the end? And name one thing that will help you to get there when you look at the whole entire reel.
I want to be the kind of person who can create opportunities for people for whom that's really difficult, if that makes sense. Because growing up, especially here, you have to do that yourself, and it's really hard, and it'll get to you, and it'll make you real depressed real quick if you're not ready for it.
Yeah.
So I would love to be in a position where if I meet someone who is young and like is just starting in the industry and like is really trying to challenge themselves and to build their own skills and has the work ethic, like I want to be able to give them the opportunity to do that. That's the kind of person I want to be.
That's the kind of person you want to be.
Yeah, I want to be.
I can't wait to.
I want to be able to like bring people up. I want to be in
Yeah.
a position where I can do that, but I'm still finding my footing, you know. So
What would you want to put on your epitaph?
let me Google what that word means real quick.
Oh, it's a tombstone.
Oh.
I learned that word recently. I think that's why it's called epitaph. For me, Keno died doing what he loves. And, I don't know, shitting on Twizzlers.
Let me think.
It doesn't need to be meaningful either, bro.
Yeah, no, I wanted to say something like, always finish what you start.
Actually, that was a good one.
Yeah, but
Always
star.
Always finish what you started.
No.
A what?
Always finish what you star.
Always finish what you start. I have hearing aids.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's why it's confusing. Here, let me type it out, and then you'll.
Oh, I heard you. Always
okay.
finish what you start.
No.
Ted. What the fuck did you
Let
say?
me. When I spell it out, then you'll get the joke.
I heard you say always finish what you start. Ted. I think. Question mark.
You see now, the irony of having that on a tombstone.
Alright, buddy. Really, Daniel? Fine. According to the phone, it says always finish what you start. Get out of here. Shit. Okay, now last thing is, where can people find you on social media and other places?
At VFXDanny _. I am at VFXDanny on most things. I'm rarely on X. It feels weird to say that. I'm not really
Are you
on
talking
Twitter.
about Twitter?
Yeah.
Bro.
I'm not really on
We're
Twitter.
not even gonna.
Also, at Ethereal Editorial is the business if you want to follow that journey, because it'll be a bumpy one, but a really fun one. But yeah, I mostly live on Instagram as far as social media goes.
Okay, you have a website? Oh wait, no, it's being.
I have etherealeditorial.com, which is being under development right now, and I also have vfxdanny.com if you want to check out projects that I've done.
Stay tuned
personally.
for his process or progress. Yes.
Yeah, it's in many ways it feels like I'm just beginning.
So, any last words that you want to give to everyone that's watching this video?
Yeah, thank you to everybody who's given me the opportunity to prove myself. There's more than a handful of them. You guys know who you are. I appreciate you very much, because without you, then I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be talking to Keno about doing what I love. So yeah, I'm very thankful to the people who have been able to like put me in a position to do this as a job.
Is there an engagement ring at the end of this or what? I'm taking, man. You need to chill with that.
That's fine.
All right, guys, that is it for Hidden Record Creative Spotlight with Danny Joseph. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And you can find this video on YouTube. All of that will be in the description below. And the podcast is on Spotify. And again, the description to those will also be in the link. The links to those will also be in the description below. Sorry. With that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. What's the best way to end it up? Cut.
And cut.